Now welcome back home. Now we don't reach where we go start to talk about Bootstrap. Wetin be Bootstrap? And I fit don dey hear about Bootstrap, but for this video so we go start to see wetin Bootstrap be and how we fit even use Bootstrap to make our programming life better. I go like thank everybody wey don dey follow me, everybody wey don dey subscribe, everybody, you guys are the best. But make una no forget, we get group for una to take join our community for Telegram. We go dey post different things, we go dey give una updates, we go dey even dey share jobs with una. So make una become a part of this community, because as we start to dey build am, now una go dey grow with us as we dey grow also. Bootstrap na just way for us to dey build responsive websites, as we talk for here, very very fast. Bootstrap na way wey be say they don already arrange all the HTML, all the CSS, all the JavaScript for us. Wey be say if we put them in a certain way, we go dey get a desired result. We go dey get the result wey be say Bootstrap don make for us to dey get for us. So instead of make we dey try to dey work with media queries and all those kind of things, we go just dey do our own thing wey Bootstrap don give us, and then we go dey customize am the way we want customize am for our Bootstrap. So you get two ways where we fit set up Bootstrap. That are the npm way, which na the package manager way, but we no go use that one now because we never touch package managers yet. But for here, we could just use the normal way of doing that. We go use the CDN way of doing the installation. By the way, you fit still install them directly like normal, like say we take install our fonts and all those kind of things, but we no go do that one for here. We could just use the CDN way. The advantage of using the CDN now, say if we dey use CDNs, they install our Bootstrap. Whenever the clients or whenever people come our website or our web page or web app where they use Bootstrap, the CDN go save part of Bootstrap inside their machine. So whenever they come your site, it go load fast. You understand? For the client side, it go help us, they save small piece of them, so that when they come our site, it go load fast. When they come our app, it will load fast. When they do anything we guys do with our site, it go do fast like that. If we want just use only the CSS, now this first line where we go copy so this first one, now the link where we say we want use only our CSS for here. So but if we want use JavaScript also, now that time we're going to need to add this other side of JavaScript. Of course, we dey use Bootstrap 5 for here. We know they use Bootstrap 4. So if you look here, you can see we dey use the new version of Bootstrap 5, which is 5.2. As at this time when we record this video, we dey use Bootstrap 5.2. We know they use Bootstrap 4 or Bootstrap 3. Those ones still they use jQuery or Bootstrap 5. They don't the Bootstrap team got to say they don't want to use jQuery anymore, and that's why they can't use just vanilla JavaScript. So for here, so make we say we want to add or create a Bootstrap project for our own machine, and make we start to work on that project as this series go along. So now for inside my VS Code as we did, so if you look here, you will see say I just done set up this new directory or new folder where they call Bootstrap tutorials for here. So everything they do with Bootstrap, now I'm going to add for this our directory for here. So like I just make this a bit smaller. Now the thing we go like do is say we go like install Bootstrap files, right? So how we go take do am? Well, we go just use our normal basic setup, right? Because we just start we have our files, and whenever they use package manager, so we go just do our basic structure or our basic files where we normally use. So if you don't know the basic files where we use, go check, make sure you go check our HTML, CSS, and JavaScript section. You go see say now there you go know the basic files where we normally use for JavaScript. So but for now, we go just, because we work with Bootstrap, we go make our own file one by one for here now first. So we could just say the first, we could click that new button there. So the first one we want now the index, right? .html, because now that's one we do use, and that now the only file where we go create for here for now. So waiting again we need, well, for inside this our HTML file like this. So because now Bootstrap we work with, we go need to add our own HTML and Bootstrap to this page. So I get this extension where they help me. If I just put this angle like this, if I just put this exclamation point, you go see say I get other options for here. And you see this one where it told me say I can use BS5. Now if I do them like this for VS Code, this extension plugin go help me to create a full Bootstrap file and set up Bootstrap for me for inside my local machine. So if I say make I even press save now, you go see say this extension don't help me create a full Bootstrap project as I did here like this. Just that one button I press. So make we press our live server, and then make we go to browser. And you see say now we get our Bootstrap project for here. Now, if you don't believe me, say this now Bootstrap project, or if you want verify, say now Bootstrap project, make we go back inside our VS Code. And for inside the VS Code, make I just change a class. So I go just tell this hello world, say, or make we even use this p tag rather. So I go just say this p tag, don't worry about this class where I add. I go just say, want add a class of display, and then I go just set down to 3 for now. Sorry. display dash or hyphen 3. So once I do am like this, this text suppose big pass, or if suppose big pass the usual p tag wey we get for here. So make we go back into our browser, and you dey see say now page title don big, simply because I changed the class. Another way we fit check for Bootstrap be say if you just even add another class. So make we go back VS Code, and then make we change the color with Bootstrap first. Make we no worry about this class. So make we say we want to change this hello world class now to, or we want to change this hello world to a red text. So I could just say class again, then I could just say text dash danger. And if I set them to text dash danger or text danger as we call them, if I press save and I say make we go back into the browser, you will see say the text it go change to color red. So if I come here, you will see say now color red. So that are waiting Bootstrap they help us they do for our project. When we say quick, we don't set up project. We don't even need the arrange the color. We don't even need to set the font size, font, all those things, margin and other. Bootstrap don't help us arrange them for the middle. Bootstrap don't help us put down color. Bootstrap don't help us do many things just with one click. So make we go back into our VS Code. Make I quickly explain wetin we dey see for this project so, and then even if without the plugin, we go fit still set up our own VS Code. So make we try do the same thing, but this time we go do am without this plugin. This is not the easy way to do am, or make I just show una the hard way to do am, or the normal way to do am. So all these things wey we dey see here, they already dey defined for us for here. So we're going to just clean all these things for here, and then we go just define our usual HTML the way we dey do our usual HTML. So we go just press the hyphen, and that will help us define our HTML. But wetin dey important be say we go need to add this viewport for here. This one will help us to know whether the page, the size of the page, go dey help Bootstrap to understand the first size of the page. So if you dey mobile phone, you go dey know. If you dey PC, you go dey know. Any screen where dey Bootstrap go dey work better with this particular value where dey here. So make we change the title for here. Make we just come and say we dey work with. Make we say learning Bootstrap. So we say learning 5. So if we talk like that, then we don't say, okay, we want the learn Bootstrap 5. Now make we go the documentation for our Bootstrap. So I could just go to the browser again. And for inside the browser, make we go into the Bootstrap page. So for inside this Bootstrap page, you go see we get this install by CDN. Now make we try install them by the CDN. You already, if you don't see that code small for the other snippets plugin where they use, but make we just do them by ourselves the manual way for here. So we can just copy the CDN for here, down at the CSS only, and then we go back into our VS Code. And for inside this VS Code where we work with, so we want to say, okay, now we want to link, we want to paste the code for here. And this goes to help us add the exact same code where we get for that other plugin. So make we test whether the H1 they even work for us like it did before. So make we go down a bit. And for inside the body, make sure say it inside the body, make we just write a H1 just like we did before, but we go use emmet they do them. So I go just say I want a H1. We get class of, but I want make the text they blue this time. So I go say make it get class of text dash primary. And then of course I want make the text, make it get background. So I go say I want another class. We say the background go be, make I say the background go be red. So I feel just say class with a BG dash danger. Now if I do it like this and I press tab, you go see say we get a H1 with a class of text primary, and then we also get BG danger for the other side. Then make we add a text, say, so if I don't say hello world and I press save, you go notice that we don't add any CSS for here. We just add our HTML, and then we just added the CSS based on the CDN. So this CDN now, it come from internet. You know, our browser yet until we hit the CDN. Now in this CSS file, it go day into our browser as a safe cache. But if we don't get internet, this CDN it no go work. That means say this site it no go show the styling. That's so we dey work with them. But no be say they chop your data or now just very, very small file and very small CSS they work with. So no worry about say the coding they chop your data when they work with Bootstrap at least. So we could just close this file for now, close the sidebar, and then make we preview what we do for you. So make we press save. And what we supposed to do, we say we supposed to see the text, we go get this styling for here, this Bootstrap style where we add for there. So make we enter into our browser, and then make we see what's they happen for inside our example where we work with. And you see say now we get this background where they red. We know we just write one class and then we get this one, and then we just add this one text or text primary, and then we get this blue text for here. You understand? So likewise, we fit do many other things with Bootstrap, but this na just to test say our Bootstrap dey work fine fine. Now make we go back into the documentation, make we add the JavaScript for our Bootstrap. So to get the JavaScript, you go just say make we copy the entire JavaScript bundle wey dey here, which na from the CDN. So if I click this copy for here, you go click am too, you go see say they copied. So make we go back VS Code, and then for inside VS Code, make we say we want paste this code for the body. This code no go affect the styling at all. But wetin e go allow us do na say we go fit add some components, and when we add those Bootstrap components, they go help us dey do some things much easier wey we for don dey do with JavaScript, because there e get saying wey we get for programming, say no need to dey reinvent the wheel, or no need to dey remake the wheel. You understand? So we go paste the code for here, and then when we paste am for there, we go press save. Make we enter into the browser, make we see wetin we fit use test say Bootstrap JavaScript dey work for us. So I go just quickly go into the browser, and then I go just quickly check for a JavaScript component. Now for inside the docs, I go give una link to this docs, so na fit dey read more about them. Make we say we find Bootstrap toast, for example. And this Bootstrap toast, now so you go dey show for our screen. You go just dey show say like this. So if we copy this code based on the HTML, if you just copy this code, say we want this kind of toast, and then we go add them to our Bootstrap. So make we say we want copy this second one, we get this button for here. So when the idea be say when we click on this button, it go open a toast for our code. So make we just copy this code for here, and then make we go back into our VS Code, or sorry, make we go back into our example, and then make we go back into our VS Code. So now make we just paste this code where we copy from Bootstrap documentation, make we paste them here. So make I just press save, and then make we change something to make sure say that our own work we dey work with for here. So instead of show model, I could just say abeg show toast, right? So if I save it like this, you can see say we get a button we go to show us abeg show toast. Make we go back into our browser, and then make we copy the remaining of the JavaScript for our Bootstrap. And the JavaScript go dey down here, and this one here. So we'll just copy this code for here, and then we go like just paste them for inside our script tags or inside our JavaScript. Remember, say we just try to install our Bootstrap, right? So we could go back to the browser, or we could go back VS Code, sorry. And for inside VS Code, we could just write our own script tags. We could down for the bottom, so that we go for the add Bootstrap JavaScript for there. So we could just say we want scripts, and this script we could come paste our JavaScript for inside there. So if I press save and I say make I arrange this code small, and then we say make we go back into the browser, come back here, make we go back into our example, and we click on, we now get this our Bootstrap they work fine for us. Of course, the image no dey there, but you get the point. Say now we get a full toast. If you want make even the toast, make it change in color to something else. So make we say we want close this background. So, but for now, that's all we need to learn. I will see you now for the next video. Thank you.